What is up, everybody? Oh, it's way too bright to be not wearing shades. All right, hold on. Okay, well, great. Let's get this started. Especially because I may or may not have recorded one of these already and not realized that, and look, I'm already doing it again, that people are going to get really motion sick if you don't hold the selfie stick still. So let me actually extend this out a little bit as a car nearly knocks me down and see if I can maybe hold it a little bit more still. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's much better. So anyway, I'm going to walk slower this time and re-record this thing to give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. Does anybody remember that from the WWF or WWE? It was the WWF at the time, though. The Rock was coming back to wrestling, and Vince McMahon was trying to convince him to join the WWF, and Shane McMahon was trying to convince him to join the Alliance. And Vince goes, "Give the people what they want," and then The Rock just rock bottoms him. So yeah, if anybody just jumps out of anywhere right now and just rock bottoms me, I kind of wouldn't blame them. It's kind of ridiculous to be walking around with a selfie stick and taking videos of yourself. You're going to see me looking left and right a lot, and that's because I'm really embarrassed about this. Despite the fact that I've been sharing a lot on Instagram, I'm actually a very private person. I've been sharing a lot for my career and for you guys, but I don't even like talking on the phone when I walk by people. Seriously, I'm like on the phone and I'll be like, hold on for a second, and I'll be like, let me pass people. Anyway, I better get started before this is a 20-minute video. So I wasn't able to release the first Captain America parody video this week, and because of that, I figured I would give you guys something. So I posted to Facebook earlier this week my story and the pictures of my Chris Evans side by sides, and I figured I would kind of tell that to you in video form, because I gotta give the people what they want. Rock bottom out of nowhere. Anyway, so yeah, so to begin, I was in New York for about 2 years, and I hated it. Hated every single second. I am sorry, New Yorkers, but whoa, was I miserable. But yeah, I was in New York, and my roommate was in an acting class at the time, and he had a scene partner who came over to our place, and let me not get hit by this car, but he had a scene partner who came over to our place. Her name is Lauren Cipolletti. You can follow her on Instagram at Cips, C-I-P-P-S, which is weird because she only has one P in her last name, I think, and yet C-I-P-P-S. Anyway, yeah, but she was rehearsing with Jeremy, my roommate at the time, Jeremy Russell. You can follow him at JM Russell, although I'm pretty sure he only has one Instagram follower. No, he has only one picture. He probably has a few more followers, but Russell, R-U-S-S-I-A-L. But he doesn't post to Instagram like this. He'd probably think I'm an idiot if and when he sees this. But anyway, so Lauren told him, she left one day and he relayed to me that she had said, "Hey, did Aaron know, he kind of has a Chris Evans thing going?" And I was like, I must have actually stopped where I was like this. I was like, Chris Evans, because I had admired the hell out of that dude. Oh god, another car coming. This is so embarrassing, holding a selfie stick. But anyway, oh no, they're turning into a driveway. Porsche, nice car, nice neighborhood I'm in. But anyway, a car, because I had admired Chris Evans since I was 11 years old when I saw the movie Not Another Teen Movie. First of all, let's just point out, way too young to be watching that movie. That movie is so inappropriate. And of course, to make matters worse somehow, I watched it with my older sister, who isn't that much older. She was 12 at the time, then I was 11 or something. But to make matters worse, we then watched it again with our parents. And of course, my mom, my dad thought it was hilarious, laughing at all the dirty jokes. And my mom was sitting there all concerned that her 11 and 12-year-old were watching. So I was like, I don't like this. No, I don't. And yes, sorry. That is kind of how my mom sounds, because if you follow any of my stuff, you'll know that everybody in my family is South African, including my parents. They're in my family, and they're South African, so they have funny accents. But anyway, I digress. Watched Not Another Teen Movie, and and I loved it. And to this day, I love that movie. First of all, I love parody humor, which is partially why I'm bringing you Captain America parody videos. But I just loved the humor, and honestly, I thought then, and I still think, I'm a sucker, I thought the character of Jake Weiler, Chris Evans' character, was the coolest. Like, really, really cool. Here he was the captain of the football team, superstar, you know. He should have been a douchebag, but instead, we find out, and what makes him appealing and everything is throughout the movie, he actually does have a heart. And I think they cast Chris Evans in that role purposely because I think the dude seems like, no, I have not met him to answer that question, anybody's asked it, but I think he seems like he's a really down-to-earth kind of guy. And I can't wait for him to see these videos and pictures and be thoroughly creeped out that somebody is posting side-by-side pictures with him. That's awesome. I actually have some friends who have acted alongside him, and you know, there's only about 1 or 2 degrees of separation here, so eventually he's going to catch wind of this, and that's going to be awkward. Anyway, I digress more. Yeah, I loved that character. I just thought it was a great movie, even though Roger Ebert, film critic esteemed, the late esteemed film critic, there we go, Roger Ebert, panned it and said it was a waste of your time or something like that. Wasn't a waste of my time, Roger. I like it. But anyway, so Lauren had given Jeremy this, and I thought it was really cool. And at the time, I was in a voiceover class too, and there was another actor there. It was actually the night of our showcase that we were going to be showcasing our talents for agents. And I got actually an agent out of it because I did my South African accent, and he said that he said something like I was the only male on retainer in the entire country who could do a correct South African accent. Something like that. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But anyway, hey, I got an agent out of it. A voiceover one at the time. But yeah, so we were in the waiting room for our showcase, and this guy Trevor Swan, also a very talented actor. You can follow him at Trevor... I'm not scratching my head because I can't remember. I'm just have an itch on my head. Trevor Swan, Trevor_Swan, that's it. And it's 2 N's, SWANN. He said to me in the waiting room, he was like, hey man, you know you have a Chris Evans thing going, right? And I was like, I stopped again like that probably. But no, I was getting it more and more as I was going through New York, and I started booking television work in New York too. And New York is a theater town first and foremost. LA is the place that you gotta be if you wanna do some screen acting. So I went down to visit my mom in Florida. This was in November for my birthday. My birthday is November 20th, by the way. I get asked that in DMs a lot. November 20th. I went down to visit my mom on like November 18th for my birthday. And for maybe a month before, I had been thinking, okay, when my lease is up in June, I really need to consider, I really should make the jump. But instead, I went down to Florida, warm weather there and everything like that, where I was actually, happy for the first time in a while. And over a 3-day period, culminating on my birthday, I gifted myself the present of saying, screw it, I'm moving to LA. I'm not going back to New York. I told my mom, and she was in full support. I went back to New York briefly. I spent more time in Florida, but then I went back to New York briefly to pack up my stuff. Came back down to Florida for the holidays, spent some time there, and shortly thereafter, I was in LA. And 2 weeks later, I booked a photo shoot. And at the photo shoot, this girl, also a very talented actress, Alexia Pearl, at the Alexia Pearl. God, I'm giving a lot of shout outs here today. But Alexia, she did the typical thing that somebody does. She went, hey, did you know you look like Captain America? And of course, then everybody in the group agreed, oh, yeah, you do. I knew it was somebody. I knew it was something. And I was like, yes. And I told them the story about how it happened a lot. And then the next day, there was a second part to the photo shoot. Not everybody was there for the second day. It was mostly new actors, but I was lucky enough to have booked 2 days worth of work on this job. We were in a different location though, and that was where I met the absolutely brilliant, and I love her to death, Anna Marte. Follow her, seriously follow her, at Anna Marte _ I think at the end of it. If I got that wrong, I'll put it again in some floating text next to me, but Anna Marte, where she told me a story that we were talking about Instagram, and she told me a story about how she missed out on a Super Bowl commercial because she was in final callbacks with another person, a guy actually. So it didn't matter what gender they were going for. They just wanted somebody who had a lot of followers apparently, because she missed out having only 5,000 followers and the guy had about 100,000 and he booked it. That matters. That's publicity, you know, to these marketing people and everything like that. That's 100,000 people that will watch that commercial and recognize the guy, and it will just place the product in their head even further. So she explained to me how important it was, and I told her I was still like phobic of it, you know, allergic to it. Let's not get hit by a car coming here. And you know, somebody at this day too had mentioned something about the Chris Evans thing, you know, like seriously, it happens a lot. Somebody's just like, did you know you look, yes, I know. I mean, and I was like, Anna, I don't want to do this Instagram thing. I said, I created one 2 months ago when I was down visiting my mom in Florida, just because I was like, it's a rule. Actors have to have a social media presence. They have to have an Instagram. I know it for sure. But I was like, I really don't want to do it. I had like 100 followers at the time. They were all my friends, you know, Facebook friends or something like that. And I was just like, I really hate this. Anyway, Anna said to me the words that will forever resonate with me. She said, check your ego at the door. And I remember actually laughing. I thought she was stupid. I was like, you don't know what that means. Like, I actually even said to her, I was like, Anna, I don't think that means what you think it does. I mean, what could be more egotistical than you know, posting pictures, or God, even worse, walking around with a selfie stick like I'm doing right now. What could be more egotistical than that? Oh world, look at me! I'm an actor. I'm important. Please look at me. And she was like, no, honey. She was like, you don't understand. This is 2016. Look around you. This is not only what the acting industry is all about right now. She's like, this is what the world is all about right now. Social media is huge. It rules all. And she was like, and when you say that you don't want to do it or you hate it, what you are actually saying is that I'm above that. I'm better than all those people who do social media and everything like that, who post on Instagram. And she blew my mind, because you know what? She was completely right. I had been telling myself, oh, I'm above that. I don't need to do that. I'm a theatrically trained actor. I've gone to college. I have a degree. I don't need to do that. Like some jackass voice in my head was saying that, because in actuality, I am afraid of what people think of me. Of course. Who isn't? I mean, really, like, it takes a very special person. I had a roommate in college. One of my best friends, he didn't really care what people thought about him, and I swear we were such good friends mostly because he was able to counterbalance the fact that I probably cared way too much. So I was insecure about it, and I thought I was definitely using it as a defense mechanism, saying I'm better than this, and that I don't have to do it. So when Anna told me check your ego at the door, it blew my mind, and that was where this all started happening. She, like I said, we had been discussing the Chris Evans thing. She told me, honey, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go post a side-by-side picture of you and him, and you're going to watch as the followers roll in. And sure enough, I went straight to the bathroom there. That first Chris Evans side-by-side with me and him, my picture there, I was literally in the bathroom of this bar that we were doing the photo shoot. and I snapped the picture. I found a side-by-side in which he looked a lot alike, we looked a lot alike, and I posted it. And sure enough, you know, that original pic has nearly like 4,000 likes or on that now or something. Months later, posted another one, another side-by-side with myself and Chris, and that one got 2.5k likes in like the first 24 hours or something. And that was when an old friend from college reached out to me, and a guy who's a social media marketing expert, like this is his passion, this is what he studies. And he said to me, hey, Aaron, you do know that like the amount of engagement you're getting on your photos, like you're getting at least 1,000 likes per picture, you're getting up to 4,000. He's like, that's engagement numbers with some people from like 70 to 100,000 followers. And I was like, whoa, no, I didn't know that. And he implored me, he was like, please go make some content over this, you know, go write something. And ironically, along the way, other actors had told me, dude, you have to write some stuff about that, you know, write some content. And so when he called me, I had just started a UCB improv class. I had the funny juices flowing, feeling all funny. I shouldn't be doing this because it's shaking the shit out of the selfie stick. Ooh, bad language, sorry. But like I said, had the funny juices flowing. That's apparently the movement for it. And I was like, let's go write some sketches, some parody sketches for Captain America. So I messaged a bunch of people in the class. I was like, hey guys, do you want to be in this first video? And they all said sure. So the first video is you're going to see some actors from the UCB class, and there is one person in it who I've started teasing it now. I put a hint up yesterday, but there's one person in it who I think those of you who follow said person will be surprised to see said person, but I think you'll really enjoy it. And honestly, that's my main goal with it. I just want to make people laugh with it. I grew up on, it's very clean humor, it's goofy, it's just designed to get a chuckle out of people. I was saying I grew up with 90s sitcoms, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, Friends, all of those. Those were like, oh, Boy Meets World, God, I can't forget that one. But those are my favorite shows. And honestly, I went through kind of a tough time as a teenager. My parents got divorced when I was 12, and that was a really tough time for me. And I remember these shows and like these characters on the show just provided me with so much comfort besides the distraction. I just felt like I understood these people and they understood me. And honestly, that's what I'd love to be able to give to people. I mean, I saw The King's Speech in 2010, and I saw it, and it had such a profound effect on me that I told my mom, I went to see it with my mom, of course. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, if I could create that effect, if I could have that effect on one person, just one, I will have lived a life worth living. And I remember her being in full support of that and me saying, I think I can do that as an actor. So I decided at that moment to go to school to study acting. And like I said, I got into acting. I wanted to, and I still do, I want to do it for ultimately the kind of influence you can have on activism and philanthropy. And I'm not just BSing with that. I wouldn't lie about that kind of stuff. Really, that's my main goal with it. So right now, the best way I can start helping people out is making them laugh, and that's what the goal of these videos are. So I'm going to be releasing Captain America parody videos. I hope you enjoy. I was saying, I thank everybody for being here. If you have made it through this very long video, you are clearly a very devoted follower, and I really appreciate you guys. I really do. And I hope that these short little videos that I make, I'm going to turn this way so that the sun doesn't get in your eyes, or my eyes, whatever. No, now it's in my eyes, whatever. I hope that these little videos can make you guys laugh, and that they hope bring you joy. And, you know, really, I appreciate all you guys. Love you. All right, bye-bye.